Who doesn't love good food? The deliciousness, the comfort, and pleasure it provides cannot be compared to anything in the world, not even having a unicorn in your backyard. But have you ever stopped to wonder how some of your favorite foods are made? Well, sorry to break it to you folks, but there's a shocking number of foods that could leave you 6 feet below due to their processes and what they're made from. Even some of which I bet are sitting in your kitchen right now. Number 10. Margarine. Margarine is often hailed as a healthier alternative to butter, but it undergoes a complex transformation process that might surprise you. This process is called hydrogenation, which simply solidifies margarine to give it an extended shelf life. But here's the catch. Hydrogenation generates trans fats, which are notorious for increasing bad cholesterol levels while reducing the good ones. It also risks heart diseases, strokes, and other deadly health issues. Number 9. Processed cheese. First off, let's get one thing straight. Processed cheese isn't exactly what you'd call cheese in its purest form. The journey from its start to finished product involves a series of complex processes that you'd need a chemistry degree to grasp fully. Emulsifiers, stabilizers, enhancers, and color additives are just some of the ingredients that go into the making. Now, let's delve into the health concerns. While processed cheese might look and taste good, it's not exactly doing your health any favors. One of the biggest culprits here is the sodium content. Processed cheese contains a significant amount of salt, often used as a preservative to extend its shelf life. And let's not forget the saturated fats, the kind that clogs up arteries and throws your heart a curveball. Sure, a little indulgence might not give you a high cholesterol level, but making it a dietary staple will definitely have you running into some cardiovascular issues down the road. Number 8. Sausages. Alright, let's dive a bit deeper into the world of hot dogs, sausages, and every kind of processed meat you can think of. Sausages begin as a mishmash of leftover cuts, scraps, and bits that you wouldn't exactly call meat. We're talking hooves, lips, animal fat, organs, and even the kitchen sink might find its way into the mix. Well, not the sink, but you get the idea. The whole concoction is then treated with additives, flavor enhancers, and preservatives. But wait, it gets even better, or worse, depending on your perspective. Nitrites and nitrates are the common additives in sausages, which are responsible for that appealing pink color you just love. However, when these compounds interact with amines in the meat at high temperatures, they form nitrosamines, which have been linked to an increased risk of cancer. Yes, you heard that right. Your beloved hot dog could be a potential cancer stick. But that's not all. Processed meats like sausages are also packed with excessive amounts of sodium to enhance flavor, preserve the meat, and extend shelf life. Unfortunately, this sodium overload can wreak havoc on your blood pressure, potentially leading to cardiovascular health concerns. Not worth it, I would say. Number 7. Chicken nuggets. Let's zoom in on the favorite guilty pleasure that has kids and adults alike drooling and craving. You might assume that chicken nuggets start with finely chopped chicken breast. Sadly, the reality is even more shocking. Ever heard of mechanically separated meat? It's like chicken that's been through a bit of a grinder-blender situation. Bones, cartilage, and all. Think of it as the chicken equivalent of a smoothie, but far less appetizing. Now, you'd expect a chicken nugget to taste like, well, chicken, right? Unfortunately, manufacturers often use artificial flavors, colors, and enhancers to create that lip-smacking taste. But beneath the savory charm lies a potential health hazard. Processed meats come well packed with excess sodium, unhealthy fats, and artificial additives, which contribute to health dangers like obesity, heart problems, and high blood pressure. We've all heard the saying, "You are what you eat," but with chicken nuggets, it might feel like you're actually eating what you don't wish to become. Number 6. Store-packed smoothies and fruit juices. Let's start with the obvious. You'd expect a smoothie or fruit juice to be packed with the goodness of fresh fruits, right? But here's the twist. The fruit content isn't always as impressive as it looks on the label. Sure, there's fruit in there, but often in the form of concentrated purees, juices, or even fruit-flavored syrups. Truth is, these smoothies and so-called fruit juices are packed full of added sugars, artificial sweeteners, colorings and flavors, thickeners, and stabilizers. Not so much of a healthy option if you ask me. But the reality check doesn't end there. There are numerous health concerns to consider when downing these seemingly refreshing bottles. It can mean ingesting excessive sugars and additives, which eventually leads to weight gain, blood sugar spikes, and digestive irregularities. Number 5. Canned soups. Now comes the most interesting half of the list. Canned soups, the heroes of lazy dinners and quick fixes. But these convenient food options often harbor a hidden health hazard. Excessive sodium content, which you know by now, are very common ingredients in most processed foods. However, this sodium overload comes with some serious health complications. According to the American Heart Association, they recommend a daily sodium intake of around 2,300 milligrams for the average adult. Unfortunately, many canned soups and foods in general contain well over half of that amount in just one serving. Now, consuming high sodium levels regularly can lead to elevated blood pressure, increasing the risk of heart disease, stroke, and kidney issues. So, what's a busy human to do? Well, you could look for labels that say low sodium or no salt added, or better still, whip up a big batch of homemade soup. That way, you can control the sodium intake better. Number 4. Commercially baked foods. Ever wondered why that supermarket bread stays soft and fluffy for days? It's not magic. It's a dash of chemistry. Commercial baked goodies often include a laundry list of additives. Things like dough conditioners, stabilizers, and preservatives. And then there's high fructose corn syrup, the sneaky sweetener that seems to show up everywhere. But here's the twist. High fructose corn syrup has been linked to a host of health issues, from weight gain to increased risk of heart disease. Let's also talk about trans fats that often make an appearance in commercial baked foods. Trans fats are known to add that flaky texture to pastries, but they can also wreak havoc on your arteries. Not also forgetting the amount of artificial flavors and colors that go into those delicious cupcakes and cookies. You might want to tread very carefully on these paths from henceforth. Number 3. Packaged meat. You might not give it a second thought while grabbing a pack of ground beef for your Taco Tuesday extravaganza. But guess what? There's a twist in the meat tale, and it involves something you'd associate with home safety: carbon monoxide. The carbon monoxide itself is actually harmless, since it's such a small amount. But there's still a danger. See, fresh meat has that lovely red hue that screams, "I'm delicious and ready to cook." But once meat meets oxygen, it turns into a dull gray shade that's more meh than yum. So, what's the solution? A dash of carbon monoxide, which keeps that red color intact, even if the meat's been chillin' with oxygen for a while. Neat, right? And that means it's entirely possible you might pick up some old meat at the grocery store without ever knowing it, thanks to that sneaky ingredient. And that definitely will do your health more harm than good. Number 2. Marshmallows. You think marshmallows are all about simple ingredients like sugar, egg whites, and maybe vanilla? Well, not anymore. Gone are the days when marshmallows were produced from the marshmallow plant. Now commercial marshmallows are made with gelatin, corn syrup, and sugar. So here's the deal. Gelatin isn't your typical kitchen creation. It's made by taking the hides and bones of pigs and cows, boiling them, and then letting them dry out. Once that's done, it goes through a process involving strong acids or bases, like something from a mad scientist's playbook. After that, there's a bit of filtering action to pull out the collagen. Here's where it gets interesting. That collagen is then dried, ground, and voila, you've got yourself some gelatin. But hey, don't fall for the rumor mill. Gelatin isn't whipped up from animal hooves. Now, ever wondered how marshmallows achieve that rainbow palette color? It's artificial colors doing the trick, which are harmful to one's health. But that's not all. Many commercial marshmallows are pumped full of sugar, the kind that can send your blood sugar levels on a roller coaster ride, increasing the risks of diabetes, obesity, and heart complications. Number 1. Beer. Of course, this had to top the list. Beer making seems straightforward: water, malt, hops, and yeast. But there's much more bubbling beneath the surface. Have you ever heard of isinglass? It's a fining agent derived from fish bladders, and it's often used to clarify beer. Yes, you heard that right. Fish bladders. Then there's the matter of gelatin. No, we're not talking about your childhood experiments. We're talking about the ingredient commonly used to clear up beer and remove unwanted particles from the brew. So, while you're enjoying that beer, you might also be unknowingly sipping on traces of animal-derived substances. Now, here's where things get a little hoppy. In the world of craft beer, creation experimentation knows no bounds. This might involve ingredients like fruit peels, coffee beans, and even unconventional herbs. While this might sound exciting, it's also essential to know the origin and quality of these additives. After all, you wouldn't want your beer to taste like a fruit salad gone wrong.